Where do I want to give birth? Between your two holes. The squatting position. She's just gonna slip right out. I'm gonna poo. Well, that's pretty hard. I have absolutely no idea. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nina, health coach and mom-to-be, and today I thought it'd be pretty fun and interesting to do an interview with myself where I ask myself 25 questions before my very first birth, before I become a mother, and then ask the same 25 questions after the birth, maybe worded a little bit differently depending on the question, and see how my answers changed. Real expectations versus reality. So let's get right into it. My due date is the 7th of June, so in about 3.5 weeks from today. It could be sooner, it could be later. I kind of want it to be, I don't know, maybe like a couple of days sooner. My father-in-law, his birthday is the 6th of June, and my father has his birthday on the 8th of June. And then a week later, my husband's birthday is the 14th of June. So, I mean, I don't really care when she comes, preferably on her after her due date, but definitely not on one of their birthdays. That would be not so cool. I really want her to have her own day. I've heard so many people say that first-time mothers always go past their due date. I wouldn't have a problem with that, but if I had to guess, I would say maybe 2 or 3 days after my due date. And if I had to guess the time she will be born at, let's say 4:32 p.m. Do I feel ready? I feel ready. I feel like in these 9 months, I've definitely been able to physically and mentally prepare myself for what's coming, to the extent that one can prepare themselves. You know, I've never done this before, so yeah. I think I've prepared myself to the extent that one can prepare themselves. I'm pretty good informed, and I know what can happen, and I feel like my body will know what to do. So I think I'm ready. I would have to say no. I don't think I'm scared. You know, everybody hears about these worst case scenario situations that could happen, and I can only imagine that being scared would make the labor even worse, because it skyrockets your blood pressure, it increases your heart rate, and the baby feels all of that with you while you're giving birth. So I don't think that being scared is an option for me, no. And no, I definitely try to concentrate on having a positive birth and, you know, positivity when I hear about good stories of women who've had good pregnancies, or in general, just stay positive and have a positive outlook on it. Then it makes me feel good, and then I look forward to pregnancy. Like, I don't really think about the negative aspects of it at all. You know, like I said earlier, I feel like my body will know what to do. So no, I'm not scared. Well, my husband and I did a birthing course before everything with COVID started to explode and nobody could do anything. And then the course, unfortunately, went online. We had to do it over Zoom calls, and it wasn't that great at that point. But because it just wasn't that personal, but I mean, we definitely learned what we had to learn from that course, and I feel like it did teach me some things that I didn't know before. Other than that, I feel like just listening to my body, you know, if I'm tired, just to lay down or take a nap, and just not really overdo it. You know, if I feel like, okay, I need to take a break, then I just take a break, you know. I've already kind of said this a couple times on accident. We are expecting a girl. My doctor hasn't really been checking it at all, actually. She checked it like twice or 3 times maybe, And at first it was supposed to be a boy, and then it turned out it's a girl. So we'll see what it really is. We have it prepared for a girl, so we're hoping it's a girl. But I actually did want a boy at first, just because I think big brothers are the best to have. But big sisters are awesome too. I'm a big sister. We also know a couple of people that were told they were supposed to be having a boy or a girl, and they got the opposite. I think Bonnie, if you guys don't know, Bonnie is our dog. She is a mini poodle. She's 3 years old now, and she is our baby. Like, she is the apple of our eye. I'm excited to see how she reacts with it. I think Bonnie will be extremely loving, and I think Bonnie will care for her, I mean, to the extent that she can, and she will try to protect her. I mean, I think she's definitely gonna, when we get home with the baby for the first time, Bonnie's definitely gonna be curious, and we'll see. But I think Bonnie's gonna be a great dog for the for our baby girl. So right now, the baby, well, 2 weeks ago, when the last time she got weighed by our doctor, she weighed about 2,300 grams. And I say grams because I live in Germany. Anyways, and that's based off of a couple of measurements that the doctor took and like just came up with the weight. Our midwife has told us to not rely on these numbers whatsoever because they're just guesstimated from a couple of measurements. So if I had to guess what my baby is going to weigh when she is born, I'm going to say 3,200 grams. Even though she feels like she's 5,000 grams right now. I want to give birth. Well, I'm planning on giving birth at the hospital that is about 15 minutes from my house, from my apartment, because it's 15 minutes away from my apartment. And they have newly renovated their birthing labor area. As like things got pretty crazy with Corona, we were really considering doing a home birth, but I mean, the hospital we're going to is literally 15 minutes away, and it has everything we need. And I think if I had a bigger apartment, I would probably do a home birth next time. But I feel like on my first birth, I kind of just want to do it at a hospital so I know what to expect. And so maybe a home birth would be for the second birth. We'll see. Perfect, easy, fast, no complications. She's just gonna slip right out, and I'm just gonna have my baby in my hands. All natural, just perfect. That's how I imagine my birth. So I really want to have a water birth. The hospital that we are going to, they offer that, so that's pretty interesting, and I've always wanted to experience that, so that's what I'm gonna try to do. Obviously, if it doesn't work, if I don't feel good in the water, then obviously I'm gonna get out and have a normal birth, or in the squatting position. I feel like the squatting position, we did it at our birthing course. I sat on like one of those U-shaped stools that they have for birthing, and it felt really good. So maybe I'll do that if I can't be in the water. But I feel like being in the water, being able to like take my baby out of the water and put it on my chest, that would be such an experience. I want to do it all natural, so that would be a dream come true if I'm able to do that even. And I feel like being like the standard, like in the chair, isn't anatomically compatible. I mean, it's like what everybody in America does, and nobody ever says anything. I think, I don't know, I haven't had a child yet, and I definitely haven't had one in the States. I think like women don't have really an option, like they're just put on that bed and they have to push, and it works. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but if I have the option to choose, then why would I not do what I want, or would I want to at least definitely try to do. So there's definitely like degrees of openness, like how open, how far along your cervix is and everything. I guess there's like 2 time frames that I'm gonna measure, that I'm gonna put a time on. And the first one is from when like I start to feel something's going on at home till the time I get to the hospital. I'll measure that time. And then the second one is arriving at the hospital till the baby's born, how many hours that takes. So the first one, how many hours it takes to be 5 centimeters open, because here in Germany you're supposed to be about 5 centimeters open, and I can't test that. So your contractions have to be roughly 5 minutes apart, and I'm gonna say this phase is gonna take 10 hours. I have no idea. And then the second phase, like from when I get to the hospital till the baby's born, I'm gonna say another 4 hours. Let's see if I'm right. We gotta talk about the good stuff, right? So at about 34 weeks, it's recommended to start doing perineal massages about 1 to 4 times a week. You can do it every single day if you want, to avoid tearing. So a quick anatomy lesson: your perineum is the area of tissue between your 2 holes, and it attaches to the muscles that support your bladder, your reproductive organs, and your bowels. The goal is to prepare this tissue to stretch over your baby's head during vaginal birth. And you can perform this by yourself or with your partner. Have your partner do it. That's what I do, because it is really hard to do it by yourself if you are as pregnant as I am. Somewhere between 40 and 80% of women experience some kind of tearing, and about 2/3 of these tears need stitches. So tearing is totally normal. Some women say they don't even feel it. They didn't even know that they tore. But if I can do something to maybe prevent it or maybe make it not as severe, then why not? So that's definitely my opinion on that. I've also been drinking a lot of red raspberry leaf tea. I've read that it can help to soften up the cervix. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna work, but why not try? I mean, I don't think I'm losing anything by trying. If anything, you know, it just didn't work. But I don't think so, because, you know, everything has a purpose. So I've definitely heard that this happens on a regular basis, along with going pee and throwing up. But the big one, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna predict that I'm not going to. One, because my body is really good at clearing itself out when something's about to happen. But if it does happen, I'm not gonna be embarrassed, or it's not gonna be bad at all, because it's normal, it's natural, it happens. And yeah, with the throwing up, my sister threw up about 6 times, she said, before her birth. So we'll see if I throw up. I'm gonna say I probably might throw up, because like I said, my body's pretty good at clearing itself out, and I think if there's still food left in my stomach and I can throw it up, then I will definitely throw it up, just to make more room for the baby and for the delivery process. Absolutely. I am one of the biggest crybabies I know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a crybaby. I am just very, very emotional. And I feel like when I see my baby for the first time, when I get to see her on me and feel her on me for the first time, this thing that I created with my husband, but like was in my body for 9 months, you know, I think I am absolutely gonna cry. But there's some women who don't. There's some women who feel like, oh God, this dirty baby, like full of everything, is just put on top of me. But I mean, that's just not me. I put this question in there because I am really interested to know if my husband's gonna cry or not. He's definitely not a crier, but he doesn't have anything against crying. Like, he believes, like, whatever emotion you're feeling, you should let it out. And if that means crying, then you should definitely cry. You know, he's not as emotional as me. So I'm very interested to see if he does end up crying. My poor vagina? No, what would be 3 words? Best experience ever. I feel like those are 3 good words. The best experience ever, best experience of my life, because I haven't experienced it yet, something like that yet, and I think that it is going to be beautiful. Another 3 words, exhausting, euphoric, and emotional. Extremely emotional, but that'll be 4. I'd make it 4. So exhausting, euphoric, and emotional. Those are my 3 words. I cannot wait for this moment. For the moment that I get to see my baby, hold her in my arms for the very first time. Every single day brings me closer to this moment. And I don't think any mother, or father for that matter, can prepare for this moment. The moment, even if you have had multiple children, each child is a new experience. It's a new being that has been growing inside of you for 9+ months, and then after a couple of hours, hard hours, it's there forever. It's going to be with you forever. Something that also changes your life, you know. So, and every single day brings me closer to this moment, and I can't wait for it. Yes. Yes, right now? No, yes, I think regardless of how hard the labor is, I think yes, definitely. I grew up with 3 siblings and I absolutely loved it. I loved it because we were 2 boys and 2 girls. I had an amazing childhood. On the other hand, my husband, he's an only child. Having siblings or not having siblings has its pros and cons. But we have both decided that we really do want a big family, and that means multiple kids. But we'll see how this pregnancy birth goes. I mean, my pregnancy has been over the moon. I couldn't have asked for a better pregnancy. I have had absolutely no complaints, nothing that you normally hear of from a pregnant lady. I had maybe a week and a half of nausea at the very beginning of my pregnancy, and then since then I have just been great. I mean, my pregnancy has just been wonderful, and I am so grateful for that. But we'll see how the birth goes, the birthing part goes, and then see how long we wait to have another child. But we definitely plan on having multiple children. No, I plan to have an all-natural birth. I feel like for me it is extremely important, and I really want to experience an all-natural birth, because I mean, in the States where I come from, an epidural is it's like the thing you do. It's like if you don't get an epidural, it's like, wow, you didn't get the epidural. But here in Germany, I feel like they promote natural births more. But regardless of that, if you get an epidural or not, that's your decision, and every woman is entitled to her decision and has the right to make her own decisions. But for me, it's really important that I feel the beauty and the pain of giving birth. And I feel like getting an epidural, you numb yourself down there, and you don't. I feel like I wouldn't have a good sense of my body if I got an epidural. And also, we want to go home after the birth. Here in Germany, where we live at the moment, because of the coronavirus, it is unfortunately so that the husband only gets to be in the hospital during the birth, and then roughly about 2 or so hours after the baby has been born. and then he has to leave. I plan on leaving as well that same day. As long as everything's okay and I can walk, I do plan on leaving and recovering at home. We already have a midwife, and she is gonna come to our house and do everything there, so I'm definitely not worried. But I just feel like I would be better off if my husband was with me, so that's why we're going home early. I think getting the epidural would definitely hinder me being able to leave immediately or as soon as possible. So that's also another reason why I definitely do not want an epidural. No and yes. I think we have an amazing dynamic with each other. We just understand each other on a completely different level. It is so deep, and I think that's why we married each other. But that being said, having a baby is something that neither of us have ever experienced, and that changes the dynamic to an extent. It just adds something new to the dynamic. So I definitely think things will be different to an extent, but I don't think that our relationship, our dynamic with each other will really change. If anything, I hope that it will just get stronger and better. Then even better, because I feel like every day it gets better. We work on our relationship on a daily basis, and I'm just so grateful that I picked him to be the father of my children. So no and yes. I mean, a baby changes everything, right? Apparently that's the saying. So we'll see. I am most definitely going to breastfeed as long as my breasts allow me. It is one of the things I am looking forward to the most when baby is here, just because that connection that you make when you breastfeed a baby, I mean, I've only ever seen it done like my sister, and I feel like there's just such a connection that you are producing what it needs. Your body is producing what that baby needs. I just think it's just mind-blowing and unbelievable that I can do something like that for my child. It is really amazing, and I am so excited. I know there's some women who can't, and that's very unfortunate. And there are some women who just don't want to. That's their decision. But I feel like breastfeeding is super important, and if you can do it, do it. Yes, I am very excited about baby carrying. I have 2 baby carriers so far. I have like a long cloth carrier that you wrap around your body and carry the baby like that, and then I have like a backpack carrier where the baby just like sits in it, and I think it's just great. I'm really excited to try them out. I feel like it's a good way to get things done while still having baby close to you, and just having your hands free to do what you need to do. I will be cloth diapering my baby. I have also made my own cloth wipes for my baby. I feel like it's not only cost efficient, it is economically friendly. The amount of diapers that get thrown away is just incredible in a baby's lifetime, and I feel like if I can do something to hinder this pollution, then why not? Also, I've been doing a lot of research on elimination communication, and with normal diapers, a baby doesn't feel when it's wet. So it goes to the bathroom and then it doesn't feel this uncomfortable wetness that comes with going to the bathroom. And with cloth diapers, it does. Yes, maybe you do have to change the baby's diaper a bit more frequent, but in my opinion, that is better than having the baby think, oh, I can go to the bathroom and I'm dry. So yeah, I think it's a great option if you can cloth diaper. Because I'm cloth diapering, I thought, why not just cloth wipe as well? Because it just makes sense to me, and I can make another video on that if you want to see it. My experience with cloth diapers, which ones I use, and so on and so forth, and how I find them to be. I think going to the bathroom the first couple of days is going to be extremely hard, or painful, I think, more than hard. I think because not everything is healed, that it might burn, it'll just be really uncomfortable. But another thing that might be the hardest part, depending on the baby too, I guess, is the sleep deprivation that everybody hears about when talking about a newborn. I really like to sleep my 8 to 9 hours a night throughout the night, like a whole 8 to 9 hours a night. And with a newborn and them having to feed every 2 to 4 hours, that could change that. So we'll see how that is. I think that's going to be also a really hard, I think the hardest part after the birth. And those are my questions to myself before my very first birth. I'm really excited to see how my answers will change in a couple of months when I make part 2 of this video. So if you want to see that, subscribe. If you like this video, leave me a thumbs up and comment down below which question you thought was most interesting. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.